If you think red light, green light was the craziest game ever played in Squid Game, you gotta wait, because the games that will be played in the next season are just on another level. From Jack and Jill to the game that even shocked the entire cast of Squid Game.
오.
Right off the bat, let's talk about what new games we can expect in the next season. We actually got a huge hint from the post-credits scene. In this scene, we saw another giant doll, like Young-hee, who we've already seen in Red Light, Green Light in both the seasons. Now, my first thought after seeing the post-credits, I thought that it would be a new addition to Red Light, Green Light, considering we did see the red and green light at the end too, and the new doll would maybe cover the players' backs to prevent players hiding behind each other's backs. Something we saw Gi-hun make use of this season. But then Squid Game creator Hwang Dong-hyuk actually spoke about this scene saying, there's actually a sneak peek of Cheol-soo, who like Young-hee is a new giant doll that we're going to be showcasing in Season 3. And that's also a hint as the most exciting game on Season 3. So while it hasn't been shared yet, I hope everyone will be excited to meet Cheol-soo and the new game. So maybe Cheol-soo isn't just an addition to the old game, but we might see a whole new game with him. Or maybe one with both the robots together? A popular theory about this is that it may be a variation of the Jack and Jill game. In this game, players roll a colored dice, move to a space of that color, and then spin a wheel. If the wheel lands on a wheel, they move on the next turn, but if it lands on a bucket, they go back to the start. Young-hee and Cheol-soo could potentially be the Jack and Jill of the game that detect when the wheel stops turning, and considering we're talking about Squid Game, landing on a bucket would definitely be a lot deadlier than simply going back to the start. So, we might see a more thrilling version of Red Light, Green Light, or a whole new game which is even more exciting than any we've seen before. I want to know your comments down below on this game. Moving on, we have seen hints to the other games on the dormitory walls already this season, just like we did in the first season. In Season 1, we saw figures on the walls of the dormitory representing every game that Gi-hun played last time. Here, we see a bunch of people on monkey bars. We might actually see a new game involving monkey bars, but make it a lot deadlier than the monkey bars you see in parks. We might see monkey bars at a great height, and there is also a time limit to reach the end. So anyone who falls down or doesn't make it to the end in time dies. This could be a pretty exciting game to watch, and also, it would be pretty dangerous for some characters we saw this season, like the old woman or the pregnant woman. We also see another figure on the wall of what looks somewhat like a chessboard. Human chess is actually a game that exists in real life already, and it's often played at Renaissance fairs. During this game, humans dress up like chess pieces, like a knight, a bishop, a king, and a queen, and they act out a game on a large chessboard on the ground, moving like the game pieces. In actual human chess, players that get eliminated simply leave the board. But of course, considering we're talking about Squid Game, the consequences of getting eliminated will be a lot deadlier than simply getting off the chessboard. But other than chess, it could be something a lot more entertaining too. It could be something like the glass bridge game we saw in Season 1, where the players had 2 breakable glass lanes to move through. Maybe now there are more glass lanes, except some glass blocks kill you, and maybe these are represented by the cross figures on the wall. So now there is not only a chance of the glass breaking, but also an added risk of stepping on a block that kills. Moving on, with a whole new set of players this season, everyone's wondering how many of them we'll see return in the next season. Well, Season 2 and Season 3 were actually supposed to be a single arc, but considering the length, they had to be divided into 2 separate seasons. So the next season will pick up right where the second left off, which means, in theory, everyone who survived this season will be back. The mother and son duo Jang Gyum-ja and Park Young-sik, the pregnant Kim Jun-hee, her ex Lee Myung-gi, and many more, including, of course, the frontman Hwang Jun-ho and Gi-hun will all be returning for the last season. Wait, speaking of Gi-hun, I'm sure, like me, you're all wondering what might happen to him next season, especially with the ending where he saw his friend Young-bae die. Young-bae's death signified one thing, the fact that Gi-hun can't win against the game, that no matter how hard he tries to protect everyone, he simply can't stop the games. We saw all his attempts to stop the games from within in Season 2, and clearly, they all went to failure. He ultimately got betrayed by Player 1, Hwang Jun-ho, who turned out to be the frontman. At the end, he puts on his mask and kills Jung-bae to show Gi-hun that his actions have consequences, deadly ones. But does that mean we'll see him be locked up in the next season? I doubt that. It also doesn't make sense for him to simply get killed. In fact, the creator has already confirmed we'll see Gi-hun next season, except we will see a whole new version of him, one that is filled with guilt and feelings of failure. The character development is going to be crazy. So, where exactly will he be? Well, I think he will still be forced to play the games. We can't forget the fact that the finals are approaching where the season ends, which is when the VIPs come to witness the last few games. So, I don't think at that moment Gi-hun will simply be locked up, but rather, I think the frontman will use him to put on a spectacle for the VIPs. There's so much exciting stuff to look forward to already. I'm sure any of you can't wait. But here's the good news. We don't have to wait another 3 years before we finally get all these answers, because it's already been confirmed that Season 3 will be out in 2025. Thank God. Make sure to leave a like if this video receives 1,000 likes. We will talk with Netflix to release the next season as soon as possible.